everybody, Tiny House Dreaming here. It's still Sunday, February 18th, and I got a second email from another subscriber who had lots of questions. Very thorough email, and asked lots of questions. So I'm going to try my best to answer them because I do have answers for pretty much everything, because basically they were asking like things to how to prepare for coming to Prime. And I kind of think that this is an accurate response for, well, some of them are Prime specific, but some of the questions are pretty much would work no matter what school you're going to, like whether it's Swift, CR England, CRST, Jim Palmer, Wills Transport, CFI. I'm trying to name as many as I can think of off the top of my head in case you're interested in coming out and getting your CDL to be an OTR driver. Like, so you have all those different schools to look up. There's a lot more, like Central Refrigerated Transport. There's different ones. Try the website just real quick before I get into his questions. There's a website called truckingtruth.com, and they have a section on there that's all about CDL company sponsored schools. And like they have all the main big large companies listed, and there's like maybe 10 to 15 there on the website. And when you click on like each name of like each company, it'll go into a separate page that has a lot of detail about that company specifically, like what age you have to be, how many years back do they look for felons, what type of drug test that they do, where the company particularly hires from, because some of these companies are like East Coast based, West Coast based. Some of them are all 48, lower 48 states, not including Alaska or Hawaii. Of course, you can't drive to Hawaii. But that website kind of has everything in one place, and you can click on the different company names and get a lot of information right there, like instead of having to search each website for each company. Of course, if you like find one that you're interested in or find a few, then you want to search further and like go to that company's website. They usually have little details that aren't part of other, these big websites. And then of course, search YouTube for like, say, Stevens Transport. Search people that have gone to that school specifically, and they'll give you more specific information, kind of like I'm giving people for Prime specifically. But a lot of the companies, some things are very general because you're going to be in the same process. Even though it's with a different company, little nuances of things change, but the bigger scheme of how things are going to go kind of fall into the same type of, where the answers are the same. Okay, so with that being said, I had to like literally write all the questions down, and because there were a lot. I'll try to talk kind of quick so this video is not too long. And then I have a couple clips that kind of visually answer the question. So I'm going to throw those in the appropriate time. I think there might be only like two separate little videos, and they're not long. So the first one he asked, and mind you, I'm here in my PSD phase at Prime Inc. In Salt Lake City, Utah. So I'm kind of answering specific to Prime, but like I said, a lot of these are just in general to whatever company. So the first question was, what should you study prior to coming? Like, and they gave like examples like flashcards about different hoses or cables or like, different things. He was wondering like, what should you study? My biggest thing is, what I will say is I think you should get all your endorsements. So like, of course, you're going to need to come to Salt Lake City with your permit. I've said that in prior videos, but in case you haven't watched and you're only watching this one, you do need to come to Salt Lake City, Utah, Prime specifically. And I'm pretty sure that any of the schools out here like Swift, who else is out here? I think CR England is out here. There's a couple little ones that I don't even know if they have company sponsored schools, like little trucking companies that you see as we drive back and forth. from the hotel to the terminal. But you do need to come to Prime, and I know Swift is like this as well. You need to come with your permit in hand already. So you've gotten your permit in your home state, because they don't spend time going over your DMV book and all that and taking you to DMV to get the permit. You already need to have that done. And since you're going to be doing it, like, I don't know how all states, California, how I came from California, how they worked is you walked into the DMV. I paid $77 to take my commercial driver's license permit test. With that test, the test is your general knowledge. So that's one test, and it's about 50 questions, I believe. And on top of your general knowledge, there are things called endorsements. Like, there's a tanker endorsement, there's a hazmat endorsement, there's a passenger endorsement, there's a doubles and triples endorsement. There's something else I'm missing, endorsement, because I know all tests included, I took like 8 tests. The long one was the general knowledge, which is your permit test. And then the rest of them are like between 20 and 30 questions for your endorsement. So like each of the rest of the tests, you're just adding additional endorsements to your permit, to your commercial driver's license permit. Here at Prime, they require you to take the tanker endorsement. That's the only endorsement that you're required to take. However, the endorsements don't cost extra. Like, say you're taking your general knowledge to get your permit. It's not like $10 extra to take your tanker and $10 extra to take your hazmat. And like, they don't keep adding a fee for however many endorsements that you need. It's, you're paying $77 and you take all the endorsements, or if you only want to take just tankered and hazmat, you can only take those and not worry about the rest. So like, you're paying that fee anyway. So, and you're already studying the book, and you're like, what I would recommend is to get, there's 2 apps that I used. There was a couple that I downloaded, but the main 2 that I used, that questions pretty much match the test exactly. And if you study these 2 apps and learn off these 2 apps, you really don't even need to use the DMV manual. Although I'm not going to tell you to not use it or even suggest that you not use it, because it would be a good thing to read up, you know, physically read the manual, and then also use the apps. But you can use the apps and not read the manual and still pass the test, because the apps, these 2 apps, the questions are pretty much verbatim of what DMV in California. I haven't taken the permit test in any other state, so, but I imagine that it's as accurate as it was for California. The wording and the verbiage and everything in each question and the questions asked are pretty identical to the permit test. Like, I can't think of one question that was on the permit test when I actually stood at DMV that they didn't have on the app. And both of these apps are good, so you can really use one or the other, but I recommend using both of these. And again, there's a lot of apps when you go into the app store. You'll see different ones to study for the CDL, but these 2 apps specifically I find very thorough. The first one is DMV Geenie. And when you go to that app, you actually, like, once you download it, you click on like what state you're going to be testing at. And I guess it kind of like gives you the nuances of like the different states or how they ask the questions. So of course I was studying like the California, but they have all the states. So like, if you're coming from whatever state you're coming from, Ohio, New Jersey, wherever you're going, they have that state. So pick your state that you're going to be testing at the DMV, and that will set you up for success. Then the other app is CDL Prep. And both of those are in the Google store. I don't have Apple, but I'm assuming they're probably available on the Apple or iTunes store, whatever it's called. So DMV Geenie and CDL Prep. Get both of those. Set it up so you're studying the commercial permit test. And the CDL Prep doesn't have a state. Like, it's just general, straightforward. And that has a lot more questions. So I think that's why it's kind of general. Like, if you're taking the practice test, there's like 200 something questions you can practice on. So I think that's pretty thorough for no matter what state you're testing at. It's going to cover the questions in your state. DMV Geenie, like I said, has where you can do the drop down and you can pick specifically for whatever state you're going to be testing at. But those 2, I would download them. And what you want to do is, like, you don't have to write down each question and write down each answer. What you do is you go through the first time, you take the like practice, like, I don't know if it's called practice test, practice exam, but it's really easy friendly. Both of these apps are. Take the practice test. It'll ask you a question. It'll have multiple choices, just like how the DMV would have. When you first go through it, use your common sense and just pick whichever one seems right. And the DMV Geenie, when you pick the answer, it will tell you, yes, you're right. Like right then, it'll say, yes, you're right, or you're not right. And it'll pop up a little pop-up box to tell you why you're not right. So like if you chose the wrong answer, it would say, no, this is the correct answer, and here's why. So it kind of gives you an understanding of why that answer is right. And then you go to the next question, so forth and so on. And CDL prep, if I remember right, I don't think that it pops up like the why. And I don't think it pops up. It does tell you that it's the wrong answer. And like at the end, you can go back and see when you finish all the little questions, you go back through the list and it'll tell you what the correct answer was. And I know I started using DMV Geenie, and when I started acing that, I started to go to CDL prep, but you don't have to start with just one app. I would download them both and kind of be studying on them both. And you'll get to kind of realize quickly that both of them kind of have the same verbiage. So they're both very accurate as far as what you're going to be testing at DMV. So study those and like just go through, and as you get them wrong, keep going through and answering it. And as you get it wrong and you see the right answer, remember the right answer, and then go through the whole test, figure out all the wrong ones. I mean, you don't have to write them down or anything. Go back through. When you keep doing that, like repetitively every day, test yourself every day, you'll start to just naturally remember the right answers. It'll just come to you, and yesterday you'll remember 10 more that you didn't know the day before. And as you go day by day, you'll start to like know the answers. Like you don't have to write them down or anything. They'll just become part of your memory. At least that's how it works for me. Although I have a pretty good knack of catching stuff. So if you're the type of person that doesn't retain stuff well, you might want to write them down, but like go through it first and kind of gauge how you feel. So definitely get your permit. I mean, you're going to have to get in anyways, but so that's one thing I would recommend studying is all your permit. Don't just remember the answers to pass your permit test, because a lot of these things are things that are just good to know while you're driving a truck. Like these are things that are needed to know. That's why they're requiring you to know these to get a permit. So don't remember it long enough to pass the test and then forget it. That's not a good, you try to retain as much of this as possible. But that, and then all of the endorsements, these two apps have there's different sections. So you can just focus on general knowledge. You can just focus on whatever endorsements you know that you want. If you want all the endorsements like I went for, study everything. Ace the general knowledge, then go down to tanker. Ace tanker, go down to air brakes. Ace air brakes, go down to, keep going down the list. And one thing I will say really quick, just because nobody kind of told me, but I'm finding out early enough, Hazmat, I did take that endorsement, but just to let you know up front, when you take the Hazmat endorsement as a permit, like part of your permit test, you can't drive a Hazmat until you actually have a CDL. Like they won't let a learner drive a Hazmat. So like no matter what company you go to, you won't be able to actually drive any truck that has hazardous materials on it, just because that's like a federal law. You have to be a licensed driver to drive Hazmat, like a licensed CDL holder to drive Hazmat. But so like you'll see a little restriction on your thing. It doesn't mean that you didn't pass your Hazmat test. It just means that as while you're a permitted CDL holder, you can't drive it. But like once you upgrade to you actually pass your CDL test, you'll have that Hazmat endorsement on your license, and then you'll be good to drive. When you take before you can actually start driving Hazmat, like whatever company you go with, you're going to have to pay, I think it's like an $85 to $100. I'm not sure if the price is, in California, it's $85. I'm not sure if it changes from state to state or if it's like a federal thing, but Homeland Security has to do a background check on you. You have to go somewhere and get fingerprinted. before you're able to legally drive hazmat. And that's just like a federal law. If you hear that from your company, it's not something like that they're requiring. They have to follow this law, and it's a federal thing. So just know that when you take your hazmat, like if you know that you don't want to go through that process, you don't want to pay the $85 or whatever, you don't really care about hazmat, you might want to save yourself the time and not even study for hazmat, because that will be a requirement. And like, I think I found out that Prime only pays you $50 more on top of like your per mile if you're hauling a hazmat load. So I'm thinking when I go back to California to switch over my test, that I'm going to probably have them drop the hazmat endorsement. So that'll be the one endorsement that I don't have. Even though I passed it, I don't really want to go through all that trouble to just be making $50 per load. And when you actually start studying hazmat, you'll see that there's all these extra restrictions of where you can park your truck. You can't leave your truck alone. You know, you have to be so many feet away from buildings and other stuff. And like, there's all of these extra things to where if I'm only going to get reimbursed $50 and have to follow all these rigid regulations while I'm hauling this load, like $50 to me just isn't worth it. Now, it might be to you or different companies, and I could be wrong about the amount that Prime pays, but that's just what I heard from another driver. And other companies might pay you where it's worth it to have that hazmat. So like, you know, kind of pick and choose where you're going and which, if you're wanting to haul hazmat, and ask that question of the recruiter. This video is already 16 minutes. Sorry, guys. I'm still on the first question. I'm going to try to make this quick. Next, I do recommend that you make flashcards for pre-trip. And what I will say is, I'll try at the end of this video to, because Prime gives you this like packet of pre-trip questions and like how they want it worded. Every state is a little bit different on what the DMV requires you to know, some, you know, or how they want it worded. So just because this is Prime's, this is where I'm at. So this is the paper I have. I'll copy it and kind of put little screenshots at the end for anybody who is thinking about coming to Prime in Utah, because Missouri might be a little different because that's a different state. So they might require a little bit different verbiage. I'm not sure. But if you're going to like Swift or CRST or CR England or wherever, or a different state, what I would recommend when you talk to your recruiter is ask them, is there any way that you can email me a PDF copy of your pre-trip inspection so I can start studying now? They'll probably be impressed that you're interested in studying now, and I'm sure they won't mind giving it to you. And that way you can, before you get here like me, because I've been sitting in this hotel making flashcards, where I write the category, and then on the back I write exactly the words that they want to, you know, how they want me to say it. And like, you can see my little stack of flashcards, like, and I'm not even done. I'm kind of running out of flashcards, but I recommend you start doing that, because this is a lot to take in, all of this, how they want the wording and like what you're supposed to say. It's a lot. And when you're piling that on top of trying to learn how to back up, how to learn how to drive a manual, it's a whole lot. So if you can set yourself up for success early before you ever get here, at least remember some of the pre-trip. Like if you only remember the in-cab, the air brakes, and the engine compartment, and then you'll only have 3 other things to remember. Or if you just remember certain sections. If you can't remember everything, go for it. It's kind of hard if you don't know the setup of a truck. So that might be like a limitation right there. But you can always like Google, ask the recruiter, like, what type of trucks do they test out in, and Google that type of truck's engine compartment, or Google that a trailer. I mean, a reefer trailer always looks the same. A dry van trailer is the same. It's going to have the same under the trailer components and stuff like that. Air brake tests, I believe, are pretty much the same no matter what type of vehicle you're in. If it has air brakes, then it's going to be the same process for your pre-trip. So like things like that, you can set yourself up to where, I mean, they give you time at school to learn it, but the more you come with in your head already, the more you can focus on actually learning how to drive, learning how to back, learning how to shift. So that would be a recommendation. I didn't have the pre-trip or nothing, so I'm learning it right now. I just started this morning, and I'm trying to soak all of this in so I can test out for my license this week. So question 2 was what to bring. There is the Prime recruiter gave me like this little 5-page email attachment, and like they said, bring 7 days worth of clothes, a towel, soap, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, a sleeping bag or blanket, a pillow, And I think that's what, and like, of course, like documentation and stuff, I'll get to that later. But what I would suggest is to bring 7 days worth of clothes. Don't be out here trying to be cute. Okay. Be comfortable. Remember that you're going to be, a lot of hours is going to be sitting in the truck. So like, you don't want, like, girls, you don't want pants that are like too tight and you looking all cute, because that's not comfortable when you're actually sitting, like, the jeans is cutting into your stomach. Like, be sensible out here. You're not out here trying to meet your future husband or your future wife for the guys. You ain't got to bring your fanciest Jordans or your best Timberlands. Just bring clothes that are comfortable where you're in a sitting position in a truck for hours and hours. Because mind you, it's not like you drive for 2 hours, they drive for 2 hours. It's not like that. You drive straight hours. They drive straight hours. So you're going to be sitting for a long time. You don't want something to smash in your bladder in. You're not trying to be cute because you're in a truck. You're not going to spend a lot of time like flaunting at a truck stop or nothing like that. Dress appropriate for the weather. And I'm just like, right now it's freezing outside. It's snowy. Most states. I mean, like when I left California, it was 70 degrees in California. But I didn't bring no shorts. No, I think I brought one short sleeve shirt. Like everything I brought, because I knew that most of the rest of the country is snowing or it's cold or it's blizzarding. And, I knew kind of the time frame that I would be gone between February to maybe mid-April. So it starts to get warm around mid-April. But for the most part of the time I'm going to be in this truck, it's going to be cold. And also, with the not looking cute part, remember that the time that you're not in the truck, you're actually, depending on what you're doing, if you're coming for flatbed, definitely don't bring your best jeans, don't bring your best shoes, because you're going to be climbing up that truck. You're going to be securing stuff, like putting tarping stuff down. If you're a reefer driver, just because these people say, oh, the truck drivers sit on their butt and they just back up to, no, you got to get out. You got to uncouple your trailer. You have to put your landing gear down. You have to, hook your glad hands. You got to get out there, open those trailer doors, latch them to the side. You're going to be brushing up against dusty trailers that have been driving through snow and rain and wind. Like, it's not nice and pretty and neat. You're going to get dirty. You're going to be on your knees. Like when you're doing these pre-trip to test out, you're going to be on your knees pointing to dusty airbags under the trailer. Like you will literally be on your knees, scrunched down under the trailer, pointing to different components under the trailer, not from the side looking pretty, under the trailer. So if you're like me, I didn't have snow boots, so I had to buy brand new things. I didn't have a snow coat. So like my little pink coat you see me in, yes, brand new. But if I would have had those things already, I wouldn't spend money on brand new stuff to look cute. Now, if you come from a warm climate and you just don't have like heavy coats and stuff like that, and it's the wintertime out here, then of course, but be mindful that you're going to get dirty. Your stuff's not going to be super clean. And I'm only a week in, and I could tell you that my stuff ain't super clean. And literally I'm only I was out on the road from Friday to last night. So 8 days I was out here, or 9 days I was out here. So, and I still got, 2 more months to go. So yeah, keep that in mind. Try to fit all your stuff in one bag. Like one of the clips I'm going to add in here, I guess, or at the end of me talking about this, is kind of what I packed. And I was able, like you guys saw me lugging my bag to the Greyhound station. I was able to pack all of my stuff that you're going to see laid out, because I would just wash my clothes. So I kind of have my little stack. So it's easy for me to insert that video right now. But I fit all of that stuff in my one bag. It was a 28-inch duffel bag that I got from Walmart. I think it was like $17.88 or something like that. But try to fit all your stuff in one bag. So all this stuff fit in one bag, plus my pink knee-high snow boots that I wear. I got those at the bottom of my bag laid down flat, and then I put all these clothes on top. So you'll see how much you're actually able to pack in one bag if you really try and only pack the right stuff. Bring the appropriate shoes. Like you don't want sandals, flip-flops, none of that where your feet are exposed. You want boots. Like even if it's summertime, you might not want like snow boots, but you want something that's going to cover your feet. Because like I said, you're going to be crawling under the truck. you're going to be at these different shippers and receivers and stuff. It's not clean. It's not meant to be clean. I mean, like, you don't want your toes exposed. And some of these shippers and receivers won't even let you on the premise if you have like flip-flops on. Like, dress appropriately for what you're coming to do. Like, just keep that in mind. And if you feel like you have too many toiletries, I mean, of course, bring the things that you need, because you will be, almost every truck stop, like TAs and Flying J's and the major truck stop, Loves, Saps Brothers, they all have showers, and most of them have like where if your trainer is getting a shower, they can get a free team shower. So like they can get their student a free shower, or like when you're out there, if you're going to have a team driver, like husband and wife or whatever, like your spouse or whoever the second person in your truck is, they can get a free shower with your shower credit. It's just set up that way. So likely your trainer will say, I've been racking up these points, so you don't have to worry about paying for a shower. When I take a shower, you come and you'll get the free second shower, and you're not literally sharing the shower or having to go into the room right after them where it's not clean. Like, they'll give you a whole separate clean shower. The truck stops do provide towels and washcloths, although I don't know how clean they would be. So you might want to pack one towel, not super fluffy big beach towel, but a decent towel and a washcloth. Some of the truck stops do have laundry facilities where you can wash your own clothes. What you want to do is get an app. I'm not sure what it's called. It's like Truckin' something. I don't have it yet, but that app, I'll try to find it and put it in the description. But that app tells you, if like you click on, it'll tell you like the truck stops that are in your area, or like that you're going to be going to, like you put in your destination, it'll tell you the ones along the way. And you can actually click on each truck stop and read the amenities. So you can see how many showers they have, how many parking spots for trucks they have, what type of like restaurant. A lot of the truck stop have like Denny's or Country Pride or different restaurants attached to them, Subway, Popeyes. Like, there's different things attached to the different truck stops. So you can see like what type of food there is. You can see if they have the washer and dryers there on location. So like you could kind of plan your trip to like know, okay, this truck stop is I want to stop at because they have the Denny's and they have the washer and dryer that I want. Like, or if, you can plan it out. But if you think you might be packing, like when you start packing, if you have like way too much stuff, keep in mind that most of these trainers will be stopping at some point at a Walmart, because a lot of Walmarts across the country have truck parking and like are trucker friendly. So they pull up because they have fridges and stuff on their truck, so they keep their self-stocked. It ain't really like they're pulling up for you, although most of them will accommodate their students. So if you say like, I really need this or that, or I forgot like a toothbrush, I mean, you could get that at a truck stop. But like, say you didn't bring long johns and you come out here and you're like, okay, I got jeans and everything else, but I'm still freezing, I need long johns. You'll at some point and it's not going to be like a month stretch before they stop at a Walmart, because those refrigerators and stuff are little, so they're going to be stocking up at least once a week, I imagine. But you'll probably stop at a Walmart more than that when you're on the truck, like with your trainer. So like you can grab certain things at Walmart. Like if you forget, or if, like say you brought a little shampoo, used it all, you don't have to worry like, oh my gosh, I got to make this little bottle of shampoo last forever and ever. I mean, you'll be stopping at Walmart, so just grab more little bottles or whatever, like, or if you run out of deodorant, or if you're a woman and you need, sanitary pads or whatever, you'll be stopping at a Walmart. Although if you're a woman, bring those type of things, because you're going to be on a truck for longer than a month. And so pack accordingly. We're grown people here, so pack accordingly. But just to let you know that you will stop at a Walmart or something. So like you can grab snacks and different things, because as you're driving, try to eat healthy, but you are going to like want a snack because it's hours and hours and hours you're driving, you're behind the wheel. Like get something healthy to snack on, or like bottles of water with flavor in it or something, like gum. Some people like sucking on little coffee candies, whatever your thing is, because it just, helps keep you occupied while you're driving. So that's what to bring. And like I said, I'll put the clip in to kind of show you what can fit in a 28-inch duffel bag. Paperwork and documentation. My recruiter sent me that 5-page little like list of things to bring. One of the pages actually shows like exactly what you need to bring as far as documentation. So I'm going to screenshot that and put it in here. So I don't really have to go that much into detail. They asked about roommates. If you don't want a roommate, are you able to like pay the difference and not have a roommate? Um, I don't know. I didn't necessarily ask that question because I didn't really care about a roommate. But I I've heard other people say that like you could pay a $20 difference or something, and they'll give you your own room. Um, I don't know how accurate that is, just because like this hotel, there's a lot of, I mean, although Prime uses it, like I've seen Swift people here, other companies, people that work for the airport, lodge here. Like, so it's a big hotel, but it also is quite full. All like every time I've come in and gone, it's like full. They don't have like tons of empty rooms. So it might depend on just the space. I'm not sure that if you did work like finicky and wanted to be in a room by yourself, I'm not sure that you would just be able to pay the difference. Like Prime might actually say, if it's that big of a deal to you, you pay for the room. So you might end up paying for the whole room. And I'm sure if you wanted to pay the whole room, the hotel wouldn't have a problem. I mean, and Prime wouldn't care. The hotel will take your money, and Prime would be like, well, that's one less room I got to pay for. So I'm sure that wouldn't. Now, if you are able to pay the difference and be in a room by yourself, that one I'm not really sure about. I would talk to your recruiter and ask them, or even, the name is Ramada right here. The Ramada, and it's the airport Ramada. So Google that and call them, and I'm sure they'll let you know. The next question is, there shuttle services provided to like stores? And this person said to like food places, Walmart, like, different little places. The hotel does have a shuttle. You've seen that in one of my other videos, I think orientation day 1. And the only place that the hotel shuttle is going to take you to is drop you off at Prime in the morning and take you back, come pick you up in the evening when it's time to come back to the hotel. Other than that, they're not going to take you anywhere. There is Uber in Salt Lake City, so you can Uber wherever you want to go on your dollar. Like, that's not a problem. They don't have a curfew or anything. I mean, as long as you wake up in the morning and get yourself there, they don't care how late you're out. The Prime does have a shuttle, and they will take you to Walmart, but don't make a habit of it. Like, I would only count on this happening one time, and you're more likely to have it happen if, like, when you come, if you get 2 or 3 of you guys, like, that's in your class or your orientation class or whatever it's called, that want to go, I would kind of talk. I wouldn't go before the first day. Like, I took Uber over to Walmart to get my sleeping bag and everything because I didn't really know what to expect. But what they ended up doing was, like, any of us, and there was a couple of us that wanted to go to Walmart. So on the last day, well, no, not the last day, the third day of orientation, they said, if like a couple of you guys want to go, the shuttle will take you over there. They only give you 20 minutes to like go in, get whatever you need. Cause like literally the shuttle guy's sitting there in the parking lot at Walmart. He doesn't want to sit there for hours and hours while you just lollygag and shop. So they'll only give you like, 20, maybe 30 minutes if you're lucky. And they let you guys go in. So, like when you go in, count the clock and say, everybody meet back, make sure that nobody's lagging. But so it will kind of shuttle you to Walmart. They're not going to make like a habit of it. So when you go that one time, you better get everything you need. Now, you might have a trainer that may, like on your 4th day is, if you get matched with a trainer, is when you can expect to like go out with your trainer on that Friday. Because orientation starts on Tuesdays and it ends on Fridays. If you have a trainer, your trainer might take you to Walmart before, like, because they'll want to stock up their fridge and stuff before they have a new student on their thing. Like, they'll buy bottles of water and tissue and different things like that they know that you're probably not thinking of, but they know you'll need, like when your nose starts running on the truck. So you might get like a second trip to Walmart with your trainer. But that's not really guaranteed. But, Prime will kind of give you one trip. But it ain't like they don't want you to make a habit, or like you can't be like, take me to Chili's, take me here. Literally Walmart and back. And try to make your list and figure that out. And if you can get more than one of you guys, in the class, like say I'm thinking about going to Walmart, is there a couple people, and then we can ask to go on this day. And they'll kind of tell you, yeah, on Thursday, we'll give you an extra like 30 minutes to your lunch and like let you go over there or something like that. Because mind you have to be back for the Ramada guy to come pick you up. So there's the shuttle issues. Food options. At the Ramada, there is a Subway Yeah. Yeah, there's a Subway right across the street, like literally right across the street from the hotel. And there's a building behind the Subway. I haven't been in either of these, but I see the Subway, and the Uber driver told me there's a building right behind the Subway that has like a Greek pizza place, a Mexican food place, and like one other place. I forget what she said. Other than that, there's nothing really in walking distance of the hotel. The hotel does have a restaurant and like a little bar, although you don't want to drink or you will get sent home. But there is a restaurant downstairs that pretty much has a good like variety of things: burgers, nachos, pasta dishes, steak, seafood. So like there's kind of everything to like kind of, you know, have a meal, decent meals, and they give you a good portion so you're not going to be hungry when you're done. They have salads. Prime during your orientation will give you a $10 food voucher. So like you're eating, and they have breakfast for free here in the morning, the hotel, and it's a pretty decent breakfast. Like there's cereal, eggs, sausage, different type of pastries, muffins and stuff. There's coffee, tea, hot chocolate, like any orange juice, some kind of fruit punch juice. So there's decent food to keep you full till lunch. Prime will give you a catered lunch. And they will give you a $10 certificate, which will get over half of the things that's on the menu downstairs. So you're not going to starve, and it's not coming out of your pocket. They do mean when they say they'll feed you 3 meals a day, you do get 3 meals a day. You do want to make sure you're bringing $100 at least with you, because that's the Prime orientation fee cost. But they don't take that from you until like the 3rd day of orientation. Like ours did Thursday. Some people that were in the classes before us that I talked to said they actually did it on the Friday, the last day of orientation. And when you pay that, you get this little yellow Prime vest that you have to wear. Like once you're like practicing on the pad and stuff, you have to wear that vest. So like don't throw it away or be like, you need it. And you're going to need it when you're on your PSD's truck or your TNT truck practicing, because some shippers require that you have this safety vest on. So don't throw it away or don't leave it in a hotel or give it to somebody. Keep it with you because you will need it, or else you'll be coming out your pocket at a truck stop and paying $20 for a vest. But they give it to you for free when you pay your orientation fee. But the $100 is really all you need, because like I said, they will feed you. So like if you're flat broke, make sure you bring that $100, but they will feed you. So like, you know, just come with your clothes and stuff that you need. And you start making, your orientation, you're not paid anything. But when you pass your orientation, like your drug test comes back, your background check, and like they clear you and say, here's your employee number, your Qualcomm number. Like there's this list, this paper with all these different numbers, like your payroll number. You are assigned a payroll person, a logs person, like all these people are assigned to you. So you'll get this long piece of paper, and like that means you're official. You have your employee ID, your driver code, your password. You know that you'll get your little badge, your Prime badge, which no, I don't have it on me. But that means you're official. So every Friday you will get a 200. Okay, so when you're in PSD stage, not TNT, but PSD stage, they will advance you $200 every week, and it's supposed to be on your Com Data card, and your Com Data card is the same as your Prime identification. Like if you look on the back, there's a magnet strip that you can actually swipe into an ATM, and there's a PIN code that you put in that you just like a bank card, but it's also your employee card, and it what gets you in the doors at the terminals and things. They advance you $2 a week, and it should be there every Friday by noon Utah time. And what they said was they put the $200 on your card whether you need it or not. If you don't use it, then once your PSD phase is over, they'll just take it back. If you do need it and you use it, it's there, because like they want to make sure that you have money in case like you're hungry out on the road or something and you're too shy to ask. Like you don't have to call anybody and say, hey, can you give me my $200 this week? It's there. You don't have to use it. Like you don't have to go to an ATM and swipe it and withdraw your money. And the Com Data card can also be used at any Walmart. No other store but Walmart, you can actually swipe it at the register to pay for your stuff. Or you can, like they said, if you want to use it, what most people do is they go to an ATM, because you know how you get charged the ATM fee. So people will go to an ATM and like withdraw $180 since it's in like $20 increments at a truck stop and have that cash on them. Or you can just leave it on your card and never use it. And when you're done with your PSD, they'll just take it back. But if you do use it, once you start getting paid, they will deduct $25 a week until that amount's paid back. So mind you, it's $200 every week while you're in your PSD phase. And your PSD phase can vary depending on your trainer, how long it's taking you to learn and pick up to be able to test out. So it has to be here in Utah by Utah state law. You have to have your permit and like be practicing for at least 10 days. But it can take you as long as 4 weeks. So while you're in that phase, regardless if it takes you like the 1.5 weeks or the 4 weeks, you're getting $200 advance to that ComData card every week. So like if you only need to take $200 out 1 week and like you're not really worried about it, you can leave the $600. Then when you start getting paid, you'll only be paying back that $200 because they'll take the $600 back. Like giving you an example, if you're out there for 4 weeks. Now, if you want to take the money every week, the 200, 200, 200, that means at the end of the 4 weeks, you'll owe them 800. They will still only deduct $25 a week. Once you start getting paid, you'll just be paying it out on over a longer period of time. So that's why I say that you don't really need to come with any more than the $100, because it's really like you're kind of just going to be struggling for that first 4 days while you're in orientation, because that Friday, like that 4th day of you orientating, or you being in orientation, like the end of orientation is on a Friday. That's the start of your PSD, because you're either assigned a trainer or you're going to be trained, like where the 2 girls, how like they had to come back to the hotel every night because there wasn't enough trainers. But that Friday, your first $200 will be on your ComData card. So you're just trying to get through that first week, like that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then you'll know that you at least have $200 to eat with. And they tell you, like, don't use that to send home or pay phone bills or anything like that. Strictly use it for, eating. Or, if you need, like, some type of hair products, skincare products or whatever, use it for you being here out, because that has to last you for the week until you get to the next week. And then once you're in your TNT phase, once your PSD, like I said, can be at the least 10 days, or it can go up to 4 weeks. Now, if you're not getting it after 4 weeks, like they probably are going to evaluate like what's going on. I don't necessarily know that they would kick you out, but like if you haven't learned the basics, of just what you need to learn to pass the test, because mind you, that's what PSD is for, just to pass the test. So when you start, your TNT phase starts when you actually pass your CDL and you get on a trainer's truck to take your first load. That's when you're that's when you're starting your 30,000 miles training with the trainer. And that's what TNT is, trainer and trainee or something like that's what it kind of stands for. That's when you are guaranteed $700 a week. That's what you basically get, is $700 a week. That's before taxes. And I do believe they start taking your $25 like to pay back if you've used the $200 advance every week during your PSD phase, which would happen prior to your TNT phase. I believe that $25 starts coming out of the $700, because that's when you're like your official paychecks, the $700, and you get $700 a week. There's no other like hidden deductions or anything like that other than paying your tax and your $25 back. But so you can start getting your $700 a week in your TNT phase. Your TNT phase lasts 30,000 miles. So that's different for different people. Some people, they say, can get it done in as little as 6 weeks. Some people it takes 8 weeks. Some people it might take 2.5 months. It really just depends on how the type of load you're getting, how quick you guys are driving. Like if you guys both are going hard and driving your 10 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week, you guys are going to rack in more miles a week than the person that's, driving 5 hours. And then your trainer's driving 8 hours, like it's going to take you longer to get to each load. So the harder you're going, the quicker you're going to get your 30,000 miles in. And the 30,000 miles is miles that you drive and your trainer drives. So like their miles are included. It's miles on the truck, 30,000 miles on the truck, not like just you, because that would take a long time. Some people say they get 5,000 miles a week. Some people only get 3,000. It just depends on how hard you're working, how much you're driving every day, how many miles you're able to cover every day or every week. So that's kind of up in the air. You can't really determine that. You don't know who your trainer is going to be when you're sitting at home watching this. So it all is like is variable depending on like a few different things. And I heard that like certain times of the year are a little bit slower. So like if you're coming like a little bit before Christmas. It might be slower than if you're coming in the summertime, or vice versa, depending on what company or what division. Like flatbed is a little bit slower in the wintertime than it is in the summertime. Reefer is kind of steady throughout the year because that's mostly food and stuff like that. So it kind of, they're just understand that there's variables. So it is not an exact answer of you're going to get your 30,000 miles in 6 weeks or 8 weeks. There, you can kind of guesstimate about 8 weeks. It might happen a little bit sooner, maybe a little bit longer. But if you wanted to like have an accurate guesstimation, I would go with like maybe 8 weeks. So there's about when you start getting paid and how much and all of that. Next question was, do they really have solo positions? Like, are you gonna really be a solo driver, or are they gonna kind of force you in the team and they're just lying about it? No, you really can be a solo driver. As soon as you put in your 30,000 miles, if you want to be a solo driver, they will hand you keys to a truck and here you go. They will dispatch you on your first load. If you want to be a team driver, fine, be a team driver. Like if you already know somebody that works for Prime and they know that you're gonna be teaming with them, you let them know I'll be a team driver. They'll route that person to your terminal, pick you up, and there you go, you're now a team driver. If you want to be a trainer, I think you have to wait at least 6 months to do that, and like you have to pass these different tests and stuff, and like do a lot of CBTs, the computer-based training, to like tell you what they are expecting of you to teach a student. But yeah, no, they don't lie to you when it's about like when they say that they have solo positions. They will have a solo position for you if that's what you want. Some people come here wanting to be solo, and you meet somebody in orientation, not like on a romantic level or anything, but like that you just really vibe with, and you see that, okay, this person learns pretty quick, and they see you learn pretty quick, and you like, you know what, maybe we'll team for like 6 months. What that sound like? They're like, okay, cool. And you didn't even really know that you were coming to be a team driver, but you meshed well with somebody here and you ended up being a team driver. And you can always change your mind. Like say you want to be a team driver for 6 months and you get tired of it, or you think, okay, I'm going to do this for a year, but then you get on the truck and like 2 weeks later you just hate it and you're like, I cannot stand this person anymore. You can always call your DM and say, you know what, I want to go solo. Or if you're a solo driver and something changes and you want to all of a sudden team, say you're at a truck stop and meet somebody that works for Prime, they're really wanting a team driver, and you guys just match right off the bat. You can call up Prime and say, you know what, I want to go team, and this is the person's name. Like you can always go in and out of your decision for solo, team. So that's, you're not stuck anywhere. Like you, and that same goes for the division you're driving for. If you want to go flatbed from reefer, call your DM up, tell them you want to do it. They'll set you up. I mean, of course, you'll have to like go out and train a little bit, maybe not 30,000 miles, but you'll have to go out for a couple weeks to train with somebody just to learn how to do a flatbed, or like if you're going from flatbed to reefer. But it's doable. Like they're not trying to stick you in one spot and leave you there. They want you to be successful. They want you to be happy, because a happy driver is a good driver. A good driver is going to get their loads there on time. So you can go in and out of your decisions here at Prime. And I think that that's, most of these big companies are kind of like that. Now, I mean, like Prime doesn't have an auto hauling division. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to like go into a division that they don't have. But if they have the division and that division runs, you know, your terminal runs that division. Because like here at Salt Lake City, they don't run tankers just because Prime runs their tankers east of the Mississippi. So like I wanted to be a tanker when I came here. They were like, we don't even have tankers. Like we don't have trainers here. We don't have a tanker even on the yard for you to practice with or nothing. So like I couldn't be a tanker. I mean, I guess I could be. They could like route me to Missouri, but I would never come home. Like I would never be able to have home time or even come close to California. Like I would literally have to leave my truck there, fly home anytime I wanted to go home. So it's not really feasible. But if like your terminal has like reefer, flatbed, whatever types of divisions they are, like you can come in and out of a division if you really hate reefer and you want to do flatbed. So there you go for that. 2 more questions, you guys, and then I'll be done. How long will you be on the road for PSD phase before coming back to the terminal? I think I answered that. Like you'll be out for at least 10 days and it could be up to 4 weeks. And what will happen is you'll come back to the terminal, and like in my case and a lot of people's cases, I think, because most people are in automatics here at Prime, just because they turn over their trucks like, you know, pretty quickly, like where you're not going to be driving like a 2015 truck. Like they only let their trucks be like maybe 2 to 3 years old, and then it'll have so many miles that they'll sell it and they get new trucks in the fleet. So most of them are automatic at this point. So you'll probably be like PSD training in a automatic truck. So like me, you'll have to come back to the pad and spend at least 3 days, I'm thinking, to pick everything up, but maybe a week to like learn how to shift the manual truck, learn how to back up in a manual truck, drive in the street in a manual truck. So like you might, like, you know, for me, I was out on my PSD trainer's truck for 9 days from the Friday before last to just yesterday. So that's 9 days. And I'll hopefully be testing out Friday, like is in my head what I'm planning to do. Now that might change depending on how quickly or not quickly I pick up this whole shifting and backing and all that stuff. But so what happens is you'll come back to the terminal if you've been testing in a manual and you're ready to test out right then, like you've been learning everything with your trainer on the road, then you can come back. It takes 48 hours. So like you need to schedule your test date and time, and it has to be 48 hours in advance. So like if I scheduled it today, I couldn't actually test out till Tuesday because that's 48 hours. But after that, you can go home. Like this person in the email asked if, like, are they able to go home before the TNT phase, like that phase where you have to put in your 30,000 miles? Yes, they encourage you to go home. And what they will try to do is they'll try to give your trainer a load that is kind of taking you towards home because they want your trainer to drop you off at home. Like if you guys live close, like me and my trainer, we live about 2 to 3 hours away from each other. So she's going to be able to we'll probably get a load to like Sacramento or something. She'll drop me at my house and then she'll keep rolling for 2 or 3 hours to Central California where she lives. And she'll spend a couple days at home with her kids, and I'll spend a couple days. And what they encourage you, and this is why they let you go home, is because you only have 30 days to transfer your Utah CDL license to your home state, like whatever state that is. So that's why they kind of have to send you home, because you'll be TNT longer than 30 days. Like I said, at least the least amount of time you'll be TNT phase is 6 weeks. And that's if you hustling 5,000 miles a week. So at some point you do have to go home because you only have 30 days. So they try to get you to go home and transfer over your license and all that before you even start your TNT phase. So you can literally focus on learning everything in your TNT phase and you don't have to stop in the middle, go home. Like they try to get all that done kind of quickly, and then you start your TNT phase and you can expect to be gone for however long it takes you to get through. Like you're not really going to break in the middle of TNT and go home and take a vacation. So yes, you do get to go home after your PSD. Once you get the CDL here in Utah, you will go home for maybe 2-3 days. If your trainer's asking for a week, it might be a week. But you'll go home. In that time, you definitely want to make sure that you're working in time to go to DMV, because that's the point that they're sending you home. They're not, it's good that you get to see your family and stuff, but it's more so to get that license transferred over. So keep that in mind and make sure you're adding that to your home time schedule, is to stop in a DMV. So last question. Can you go home after passing CDL before TNT? Oh, yeah, I just answered both of those in one. So, yeah, there you go. That's what I have for you guys. So, I don't know. This person seemed like they asked a lot of questions. So, I'm hoping I covered everything. If I'm missing anything, just I don't mind answering questions or helping anybody. I want anybody to come here, and especially if you're coming to Prime, you're going to be part of the family. I might run into you somewhere, so I don't want to be rude or I don't got time for you. I'm not like that. I want everybody to be successful, because I would hope that you would want that for me. So if I missed anything and you guys are wondering, shoot me an email, just like the last 2 people did that I made videos of. And I will definitely answer them. I'll try to answer them as soon as possible, but it might take a day or 2. And especially once I'm out on the truck, I don't have Wi-Fi and all of that all the time. Another thing to keep in mind, you want to make sure that you come out here. Well, you can come out here with whatever, because initially when you're in your PSD, especially PSD, you're more kind of focused on learning. Your TNT, you still kind of don't really matter unless you're super phone person. It's hard to be a YouTuber, but if you don't have a good cellular service. So like you might want to think about getting Verizon or AT&T. I heard are the best to have out here, but I really hear Verizon from most truckers. They say Verizon is like the number one where they kind of work everywhere. AT&T is like a close second. So you want to kind of think about that. Like if you have Metro PCS like me, because like in the Bay Area, it works everywhere perfectly fine and I get unlimited data. If you're a YouTuber, keep in mind that you're going to need that unlimited data. Like don't get a plan that has like 5 gigabytes or whatever that is. Because like I think in a month just YouTubing, and I don't even YouTube as much as some people do. Or like they have like hours and hours, although this is running into an hour. But I use like about 50 megabytes a month just doing what I do. So like, you know, look for plans, and it might be worth it to get like a Verizon plan that has unlimited data, and you might be paying $100 or something a month, but it's going to come in handy because you have all the apps you need for like truck stops and stuff. You're able to YouTube or document your stuff, or even if you're not a YouTuber and you just like taking pictures and putting them on Instagram, like you have that data. You're going to probably get bored. Like at night, you have so much going through your head in the beginning that it's kind of hard to just like turn it off and go back right to sleep. Like for me, I have to like fall asleep listening to something. Like, so you might want to like watch people on YouTube or watch CBS, or if you have like the DirecTV Now app, you know, like, so that's using data. So like all of those things, like keep in mind the things that you'll be needing and kind of plan accordingly. When you first coming out here, you might not have a lot of money. So keep whatever you want to have, or keep whatever you have currently. But at some point before you go solo, like kind of think about getting a plan so you're not like in Wyoming or in Iowa and you have no cellular service. Like that's not, I mean, you can do it because you're Qualcomm, you have like communication with your DM without having to be able to pick up a phone, but it makes you feel a lot safer when you can pick up your phone and actually call your DM versus sending a message and sitting there waiting. I mean, they usually answer pretty quickly and there's always somebody on call. Like even if your DM is off, there'll be a DM covering for them and they'll always send a message. Hi, this is Jake and I'm covering for your DM. You know, if you need anything, give me a call tonight. You know, so like they'll let you know and you have a way to communicate. But, you know, in this day and age, people always feel safer being able to pick up a phone and call for help or something, you know. So kind of think about that and like start planning that into something that you might need. Like I said, you don't necessarily need to worry about that in your PSD phase, and really not even in your TNT, because you're still learning a lot and stuff. And you do come through places where you get Wi-Fi for free, or like when you're sitting in Denny's or whatever. But when you're like 6 hours driving through the middle of nowhere, Iowa, you know, you might, or if you have kids and stuff, you might want to, you know, have a way for them to reach you. Because keep in mind, just because you have Wi-Fi, you're not getting your text messages or phone calls. You're only like getting Instagram or email. So you need to make sure you're setting up a way where like the people back home in your family or whatever know, like, okay, you know that my service ain't gonna be good. So if you do need anything, I mean, even an emergency, you might not even see an email. But like if there's something you need, don't like shoot me text, because I might not be getting them until tomorrow because we have to stop in Wyoming and sleep for the night. And I'm not going to be in a state that has my Wi-Fi again till tomorrow evening. So like they can at least shoot you an email so you can walk into the truck stop. Most truck stops have free email when you're in the truck stop. But once you walk out the doors of the truck stop, you have to pay for like the Wi-Fi that is in the parking lot. But at least you can walk in the truck stop every now and then and update your email. So like let people know, kind of just, I'm just giving you something to think about so you're not relying just on your phone or text. Like, if you got to put little messages at the bottom of an Instagram picture, or if they need to email you, like kind of have those backup plans to let a person know if I'm not responding from a text, it's not because I'm ignoring you. It's probably because I haven't gotten a text. Shoot me an email too. It's like if it's something that's pertinent, you know, if it's something that can wait. Like, okay guys, here's a real quick video of things to bring. Like you want to bring underclothes, socks, plenty of socks. Anybody that knows me from my Van Dwelling days knows that I love my sweaters. Like you want to bring like leggings or thermals or something, especially if you're coming during the winter time. A belt, keep your pants up. I love my long sleeve black shirts. So I have like tons of black shirts. I got 6 pairs of jeans here. Well, 5 pairs of jeans and my little camo cargo pants. A couple shirts that like, because I get hot at night. So like I sleep in my hot shirts. I have some sweats, and then the ones I have on, you don't want to bring too many pajamas because you won't really be like changing out. It's not like at home. It's not comfortable up in the top bunk. I'll put a little clip in of a top bunk and like you can see what space you have. If you're a girl or if you have dreads or something, like something to tie your hair up, you want a laundry bag so you can collect your dirty clothes all in one spot. Of course, like brushes and stuff. I put this in that like a bag that like doesn't spill. Like I put my toothbrush and shampoo and stuff. You want to try to bring a charger that has like multiple ports in case you like bring your tablet and your phone and everything. You're not plugged up to like all of their ports and stuff. Like most trainers will have some type of plug, so, or they might not, I don't know. Shampoo and conditioner and stuff. Like for my curly hair, I need full size stuff, but like, you know, if that's a priority for you, like, or certain soaps and stuff, but just remember it's taking up space. Definitely a coat. Even if it's summertime, bring a coat because you might go through states that it's cold at night. So like it doesn't have to be a thick coat like that, but something more than just like a flimsy sweater, or plan on like buying one at your company's terminal. And then this is my 28-inch duffel bag that I got from Walmart for like 17 bucks. And like you can see, other than my socks in there, like I washed everything. And then the only other thing I came with is a backpack that like, because they tell you to like bring a notebook and pens and stuff. And then I have like all my waters, my vitamins. But yeah, so, and it's a smaller backpack. It's not super big, but that's all I brought. Literally, I had my boots in the bottom of my bag and I put all these clothes. So all this stuff fits in that bag. I didn't buy anything other than one shirt from Prime, and that's actually still hanging in my trainer's truck. So yeah, all this stuff should fit. Try not to bring too much more. All right, guys. Talk to you later. Okay, you guys. This is the top bunk where I sleep at. So every night, my head goes down here on my pillow. All of this stuff, like my winter boots, my bag with all my clothes in, and this is a dirty clothes bag. Now that we're back at the terminal, I'll be washing it, so that stuff will go back in there. But this is what the space you have to work with. And then we did go to Walmart and I bought like these really good waters. If anybody's ever not tried them, oh my gosh, they're really good. But anyways, so like all this stuff, at night I have to actually put my bag back like this at the end, and your feet, like your feet are down there with your bag. So if you bring a lot of crap with you to here, you're sleeping with all that stuff. I mean, mind you, this is just like a blanket back here, and then my water is gonna go like down there. I'm short, so I'm lucky that my feet actually stop here at the bag. So like I have that extra space here. Like I don't have to sleep with my feet up there. But that is all the room that you have to work with. So be mindful of that when you are packing. Don't bring 3 duffel bags worth of stuff. Like that was something I took very serious as a word of advice from my recruiter, and I'm trying to show you that it's not a lot of space back here. So like my dirty clothes has to go up on top, and I can't even get them there. 1 second, guys. It has to go up on top of my bag. And then of course my sheet keeps coming out. This is just a receipt. But you know, and I lay my blanket out. I'll have to find somewhere to like put my stuff I got from Walmart and my waters. But my boots have to also go back there. You know, it's like you're sleeping with everything that you came here with. Keep that in mind. So yeah, there you go.